Oh man, tonight's hockey game offers us so many different conversations. I love wins, don't get me wrong, but I especially love when they come with some content. A hat trick to discuss, James Reimer to discuss, the Sharks with the absence of their captain and thriving to discuss, Team Teal surpassing the Ducks in the standings to discuss. This was an Anaheim team that could not lose in the month of February. They were on a roll. They were making their push. They were the California team to beat. Probably playoff bound in a lot of thoughts and ways, but now they've lost 9 in a row. And the Sharks tonight got to hand them a pretty decisive defeat. Let's get into this little live stream. Let's see if I can time this out right. Oh, yeah.
Broadcasting live and worldwide. Here's Brody Brazil.
See, that's how you know it's going to be a good live stream, when I can even hit the timing of the music right. Like, everything is going perfect in Sharks land on this evening. It's a Saturday. Thank you so much for staying up late. I mean, it's already 10:40 here in California, so if you're watching out east, it's already tomorrow, or I know some are watching from different continents across the world, which is very cool. But happy to have you here on the YouTube live stream. Sharks scoring again in all 3 periods. Goal in the first, goal in the second, 2 in the third. That's been happening a lot more often lately. For a while, it seemed like the Sharks would be lucky to get 20 shots in a game. Didn't even tabulate their final count tonight, but my point is that scoring in all 3 periods always indicates a healthy attack. You did something to be dangerous every single period tonight. And obviously, the centerpiece of those efforts are Timo Meier. The hat trick, I guess, you could say technically the second hat trick of the season, but the 5-goal performance stands on its own. I think what was magical tonight is he, and scoring all those goals, kind of took the game over, put it away for San Jose, but it also gets him to the nice round number of 30. He's got 30 goals in 60 games. He's missed 5 games this year, so just to think about the pace, I mean, with the amount left, yeah, that number of 35 does seem a lot more attainable all of a sudden. And it's just the way he's scoring. It's not always the same type of goal over and over. He's doing skillful things. And I think the most important thing, too, is to take it back to an offseason ago. And at the end of last year, I do not know that the coaching staff was happy with Timo's game and results. And maybe he, to an individual, wasn't satisfied either. But he's made a difference this year, I would say, in terms of offensive players on the team. Now, he and Hertl have been neck and neck in terms of the goal-scoring department, and it's not always about that. Like, let's make it very clear. It is about that, but it's also not always only about that. If you're asking who's been the most consistent threat this year offensively, I think you put Timo Meier at the top of that list. And so the season he's having, 30 goals in 60 games, again, I think getting to 35 is real. It's tangible. I was saying this a couple games ago, and at that time, maybe it felt a little bit more far off. Now, a hat trick tonight, can totally change the narrative, but it can also totally put you within striking distance in the, 17 games left to get 5 more goals. Very doable for Timo Meier. Very excited by that. What else do I want to talk about here? The 1 on the scoreboard. James Reimer is, kind of returning to form, and it's good to see him come back to where he started this year. A lot of times it was the Sharks not giving him enough run support, and Timo was solid. Reimer was solid. Reimer was consistent. You're thinking, man, if they could just score a few more goals, like Reimer had been one of their backbones. And I'm not saying he ever departed that role, but it certainly is clear that he's reemerging into that. And you got to say, for James Reimer, how weird it must have been at the deadline when, kind of to a lot of surprise, the Sharks brought in another goalie. Kaapo Kähkönen comes in, and it's like, I wasn't expecting that. I mean, you knew Adin Hill was backing up or in tandem with Reimer most of the year, and then Adin Hill was hurt. and we don't really know the severity or if and when, where we'll see him again. But it is interesting that there are 3 goaltending options, like 3 NHL level ready goaltending options right now for the Sharks. And there's more. I mean, people like what they saw in Sawchenko, and Al Stalock is right there in the system now too. But for Reimer to see that happen, and probably in the back of his mind instantly goes, well, wait a second, am I chopped liver? Am I out of here? Am I done? And I tell you, that could probably play some head games with certain people. And forget hockey teams, just think about all walks of life. That's a weird situation to be in. They brought in somebody who does exactly what I do. Wait a second, am I staying here or am I going somewhere else? So fortunately, the Sharks keep Reimer. He is under contract for next season too. So is Adin Hill. Kähkönen is a restricted free agent at the end of this season. So obviously it's likely that the Sharks would retain him, or at least get him under contract, because that's kind of one of the perks. But again, for Reimer to be that solid tonight, the one goal that was allowed by the Sharks came on a San Jose turnover. Anaheim goes the other way, strikes quickly. That was 1:05 into the third period. And just to kind of think about how this game played out, Sharks got the first 2, one in the first, one in the second, and then Brownie and I said this, second intermission. Next goal is huge. 3-0 or 2-1, those are 2 very different game scenarios, right? 3-0, you might as well start warming up the car. 2-1, if it stays that way, Anaheim pulls their goalie, extra attacker, final couple minutes, like they'll make a real legitimate push. So it does go 2-1, but then about a minute and a half later, almost 2 minutes later, Meier from Barabanov, and then late in the third period is when Timo absolutely sealed it. 3-1 was nice. 4-1 was even better. And the 30th goal on the season for Timo Meier. Like I said, a really rewarding night for the Sharks. To beat the Ducks for the first time after losing twice to them in overtime. And I got to say, I was quickly reminded about how the Sharks lost their last game to Anaheim. Do you remember that trick play that they pulled at Honda Center? And it was, who was it coming off? I know Ricard Raquel was the one who got the pass. Oh, Adam Henrique. That's right. Henrique went off on a change. Logan thought he was still defending Henrique 3-on-3, except for that stretch pass goes to Raquel, who came on the ice from the other door of the bench. Logan didn't see that. Henrique stayed on the ice, like literally it was Anaheim had 4 players on the ice. It was not a legal play. It was a smart play, and if they executed it correctly, it would have been a perfect play. What more could you say? But they didn't. That's how the game ended, first shift of OT and a little bit of controversy. So tonight, to kind of shove it back at them, in that way, beat them decisively, felt good. Another thing about tonight's game, San Jose and Anaheim, is for the third straight time this year, we saw a 5-minute fighting major take place. Now, of all the Sharks matchups and the teams that they've seen multiple times, I don't know that you can say there's been a fight every Sharks-Kings game or Sharks-Flames game or Sharks-Oilers game, any other team in their division that they've seen multiple times. The temperature has not risen for San Jose against really any one other opponent this year. And I'm not here to say that, the Sharks-Ducks rivalry is back, because these teams are, what now, 5th and 6th or 6th and 7th respectively in the standings. I mean, they're right there. They're not necessarily competing right now. If they were 1-2 or 2-3, okay, now we can talk about rivalry. But I do have to selfishly say it's fun to have these California teams a little spicy at each other. And Gadjevich and Carrick and Delorier and Jeffrey VL. I mean, those are literally the 4 guys who have combination, like drop the gloves with each other. And look, I'm not here to, glamorize hockey fighting. It happens. It's part of the game. But what I am saying is I just like knowing, the old saying, these teams don't like each other. No, I like knowing that a little bit. It doesn't have to get reckless. It doesn't have to get where somebody's going to be hurt because of it. The temperature being hot, right, for the Sharks and a team that for the last couple of years they've not been contending, that's kind of the start of returning to that. Games mean something. Losses are taken personally. Stuff that gets said or done on the ice is taken care of. And it's also been interesting too. The Sharks and Kings have had their moments this year. And when Timo scored 5 on them, that couldn't have sat well with Los Angeles. Now, they've since escalated themselves into a pretty competitive spot. But I think that's obviously the next step for everybody. Sharks, Kings, and Ducks. Like I say this weirdly, but I miss the days of those 3 teams being annual playoff contenders or really the top 3 division leaders every year. How many times did that happen? Like 2011, 12, 13, 14. Those 3 teams, 1, 2, and 3, opening night, you knew that's how it would shake out. You just didn't know who would be first, second, or third. So I look forward to that. No disrespect to the Golden Knights of the world, the Alberta teams of the world, now the Northwest teams with Seattle. It's going to be a while for them. Or Vancouver, who is rebuilding again to some level of success. But again, it's and it's not just a sentimental thing. Oh, Sharks and Ducks, and it makes hockey in California even more exciting when you know that all 3 teams are that close and that good, and you have that many matchups. It makes for a more exciting season. Clearly, you know who I want to end up on top, but to know that it's going to be that hot in competition, I like it. All right, let's see what else I had to talk about here. Winning tonight's game without the captain. Significant in my eyes. And it's not just leadership. It's not just on the ice contributions. It's not just the individual, but it's what happens when you don't have the individual. How the power play looks different. How the penalty kill looks different. How a lot of your strategy looks different. Granted, teams have to be prepared to go without any one of their players, especially in a pandemic season, especially like this one started. But I think to do all this tonight and to do it without your captain, one of your top line centers, it just adds to the statement that was made in this game. It really does. And the other guy I want to talk about real quick before I dive into the live chat is Mark-Edouard Vlasic. It's amazing, right? This is sports. Vlasic goes more than a year without scoring a goal in the NHL. And during that time, I want to say he was even a healthy scratch on at least one occasion. And it's not all about goals. Like, trust me, especially for a defenseman or the style of Mark-Edouard Vlasic. But you would think that the opportunity would have presented itself. Last year was also a shortened year. It didn't, but it's amazing now that he scored what feels like 3 goals in 5 games. Well, it's 2 now in the last 7. He scored 3 overall in the year, but it's amazing how they didn't come for him. And now tonight you're almost saying, is Vlasic on? Get Vlasic the puck. And let's also talk about how Vlasic scored. Ryan Merkley skating with his head up, looking for Vlasic. This was hardly the textbook D-to-D pass. It was not parallel to the blue line at all. It was not point to point. It was literally Merkley down by the goal line. He retrieved a puck that it looked like he was trying to center, and he got it back, and he just kept his head up, looking around, and instead of looking at the crease, he saw Vlasic pretty much wide open, high slot, said, "It's yours," fed him, and Vlasic scored. And that play wouldn't have happened if it weren't for Merkley's awareness, Merkley's puck handling, Merkley's vision. And I got to tell you, this is way too much pressure to put on one individual. This really is. But I mean, what you hope Merkley can be like, doesn't have to be at that level. I mean, you hope so, but model what you do after Dan Boyle. That would be. And again, Merkley's played now 26 NHL games. So he's just getting started. Let's give him some time. Let's give him some space. But if that's kind of the structure, if that's kind of the goal, what you're aiming for, that'd be the template. That's what I was looking for. That'd be pretty awesome. I see in the chat here, Merkley confirmed it was a no-look pass to Vlasic. Well, okay. Maybe no look in a sense that he looked off the pass, right? Sometimes like basketball, like you see somebody, you look away as you pass. In this case, you look away as you pass, but it was Merkley head up with the puck, figuring out what he was going to do next. So, all right, let's get to. I saw somebody. I'm going to begin with this one. Jamie and I would try to pronounce your last name, but I apologize. I probably get it wrong. 7:45 a.m. here in Warsaw, Poland, but the clocks are all wrong because it's Timo time. It's funny, I was thinking tonight, Switzerland, they make cheese. Timo goes, Swiss cheese, right? Timo goes top cheese on at least one goal. And then they're also known for watches. And Timo time, right? Like that's one of our things. I guess I never put that one together. Let me dive back into the live chat here. Alden, Brody's David Attenborough sounded like he was channeling Steve Irwin. So thank you for watching Post Game Live. And you know what? That's what I didn't really get into here. All right, hang on a second. We got to talk about this. The Sharks just leapfrogged the Ducks. Or as David Attenborough would say on BBC, tonight in San Jose, a shark leapfrogged a duck at the tank in the standings. Wait a second. Here we go. Let's see if we can. No, this is too echoey. Nope. That's not the one. Nope. I would have done that one, but it's just, I'm not set up for that. So if I could have done a cool effect, I would have done it. You just forced the Ducks to lose 9 in a row. They got a couple players back tonight. They thought this was going to be the turnaround. All right, beatable San Jose. We've done this before. We're going to get our mojo back. We're going to point our ship back towards the playoffs. Nope. 9th loss in a row, and now 10 losses in their last 11 games. It's got to be rough. That has to be rough on their side. And if there is a portion of the season that determines whether they're in the playoffs or not, a 9-game losing streak is going to, make that happen. And if you're the Sharks, again, small goals right now. You're not going to get into a playoff spot overnight, and you may never get there. Let's be honest about that. Let's be very upfront about that. But to surpass Anaheim in the standings, now put them away. Don't look back. Well, look back to make sure that they're not catching you. Pass somebody else. Make it interesting. That's all you can really do at this point. Social media is horrible. Caker Girl has no social media. Oh, wait a second. Sorry, I didn't realize my chat was up. Caker Girl has no social media. I guess YouTube, and I don't really consider YouTube to be full social media. It's too much of a different platform. All right. Oh man, these were all comments before I even. Dadnov, Ducks legend. I'm betting he's glad. Didn't he? And Brownie told me tonight, I didn't see this, but he scored again for Las Vegas. Did he get their game winner tonight? And he scored last game too? Man, what a way things play out between Las Vegas and Anaheim right there. All right, let's see what else we got here. From the Bay, I'm trying to keep it 100, at least 99. Hey, Brody, hope you're well. Thanks, Broden. You too. Thoughts on Leonard, Chemlevsky, Reedy line? Yeah, I think Honor said it best tonight. You don't just ask some of these young guys to show up. At some point, you say, all right, you're showing up. Great. Make an impact. And it doesn't even have to be every game, but be more consistent in making a difference in games. And I think tonight you definitely got a taste of that. So I don't want to get too specific on any one of those young players that were named there, but and I guess I kind of did on Merkley, but that line and Merks and the Merkley-Vlasic pairing, I think there's a lot there. There's a lot of good things going on right now. Pickle's actually on fire, though. There's the comment. Merkley confirmed it was a no-look pass to Pickles. Drew can answer it. Awesome game from the younger players in the Gadjevich line. Do I think the Sharks are going to pull an Ottawa and an Arizona and go back to the old logo? I don't think so. But I feel like the old logo, I don't mind seeing it more often. You know, I don't mind the retro sweaters. And would it be possible that you already have the stealth jersey, but like to have an alternate with the old crest on it, I think would be awesome. Let's see what else we got here. Playoff chances, you know, you got to put together even a run to start that conversation. The Sharks have been, meddling with 500 for a long time now. So they're at 66 points through 65 games. You've got to put together a 3 or a 4 or a 5 game win streak to even enter that conversation. I mean, honestly, at this point, with 17 games left, you have to win 5 in a row, like right now, to make that a conversation, to actually make it a meaningful statement. I think, and Brutus can maybe answer the question. Okay, 1%. So you're saying there's a chance. The way I've liked to say it is this: numerically possible, yes. Logistically possible, probably not so much. Could happen. I've seen stranger things happen. But at the same respect, if you're not going to make the playoffs, make a statement, make it interesting, do what you did tonight. And that's what tonight is all about. Surpassing somebody else in the standings. They've struggled. You've played well. And there's a lot of division games left. Of these 17 remaining, I think a majority of them are still division games. Drew says they would need to win ... 15 of their remaining games, I believe. Yeah, 15 of 17. So again, even to entertain the comment of playoff chances, you got to put together a run. But I'm telling you, that statement we're hoping for, that push, that sign of life, that is a 5-game win streak. That's a statement. That is going to make things interesting, even if you don't get all the way to your end goal. Jeff is on his way to play a show. Wow, Jeff, good luck. I don't know what you play, but I hope everything goes well. And you must be the headliner because it's getting late, buddy. And this hat trick win over Anaheim got you real psyched to play. Okay, so you play something. Play an instrument. Jeff, tell me what you play and where you're at. Give yourself a plug right now. Tell everybody where you're playing tonight. I don't know how many people are watching in LA, but for the heck of it. Bilford Brimley. Isn't it Wilford Brimley? Glad you do these live streams. Sharks fan from the East Coast, and it makes you feel closer to your fellow Sharks fans. Well, I'm glad that you've stayed awake until 2 a.m. if you truly are in the Eastern time zone. 3 games, see, and Brutus is already one step ahead. That's why Brutus is a mod. 3 games behind Vancouver. Right? It's just, that's what this is all about. Oh, you play drums in a band called Crash Overcast. I like it. Jeff, have a great show tonight. I didn't have a great show, but I want you to have a great show. It's been a while. Hertl had a couple of goals, I think, right before the contract. Has Hertl scored since the contract? He may have, and honestly, at all time. I was in Arizona last week. Time is all just kind of floating by. So, yo, fellow Sharks fans of the East. See, now I like that. That actually makes me feel real good that we're not just reaching people here in Northern California. I'll tell you what. In the final couple minutes that I want to hang out, let's do roll call. Let's see where everybody's at right now. And by the way, let me take this opportunity to ask. I mean, you already know these social channels over here: Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, whatever. But if you're not subscribing to the channel yet, This is right there. Well, don't hit it right there, but hit it down below. Subscribe to the channel. Thumbs up on this video before I let everybody go. I would really, really appreciate that. It helps other people find this video here on YouTube. So let me see here. You're so ahead, Brody's and Brownie's next Twig Talk segment. Yeah, we gotta come up with another one. Tonight we did the art of the backhand, which was fun. It's already here on the channel. All right, let's see where everybody's at. Finally, they're coming in. Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, Indianapolis, Indiana. Boy! At least that's how I'm imagining you said it. Oh, wow. King just woke up in Europe. I love that. Well, I haven't been going on that long. I think I'm maybe 26 minutes here, but thank you for waking up. See, now you're more of an early riser out there across the pond. Fremont in the house. Michigan's going to cruise to the NC2A championship. Oh, really? Long Island, Gig Harbor, Washington, Ocean County, New Jersey. Is it Riga? Latvia. Oh, I love that. Carlos, I hope I'm saying your name right, Carlos. Thank you for being here. Watsonville's in the house. Your airport has one of the best Mexican food restaurants in aviation. I want you to know that. Brandon's in Florida. Watch most Warriors, A's, and Sharks. Man, it's 2 a.m. for you. Always watching after. Thank you for watching from Jacksonville, Brandon. I appreciate that. Sacktown in the house. I feel like Dr. Dre on California Love. Sacramento. Where you at? 831 Raiders just coming home from the game. Caker Girl, San Jose. Reseda? I've never heard of that. Reseda, California? I'll have to look that one up. Seven Trees, San Jose, 408. All right. Very East Coast. Watsonville. Do I have someone upload for you, or do I do it all by myself? Okay, I will show you the person who does all the uploading. Are you ready to see the person who does all the uploading on my channel? I don't know if I've ever revealed this before. They work hard. I probably deserve to pay this person a little bit more. As you know, they're creating a ton of content. They're producing. This person's working real hard. Are you ready to see that person? Hi, it's me. All right, you didn't need all that. Let's go back to the chat. San Mateo, Sacramento. Oh, Reseda is in LA. If I'm saying that right, I did not know that. That's crazy. I've never heard of it. Oregon. Oh, Reseda. Oh, Cobra Kai. I've not. And Jacob, I apologize. I've not seen Cobra Kai. Please don't. I know I've probably lost points in your book. I'm a busy guy. Got a lot going on. It's been a rough couple years. I hope you can let me pass on that. Timothy in Las Vegas. Oh, East San Jose. I already know that from the Bay. 408. All right. So there you go. 65 games in for the Sharks. You know what? Just defeating the Ducks for the first time this season, statement. Passing them in the standings, statement. Winning without your captain, statement. James Reimer allowing only one, statement. Timo Meier hat trick, statement. Getting to a career high 30 goals, statement. Yeah. No, give my YouTube assistant Brazil a raise. He definitely deserves that. All right, I want to thank everybody so much for being here. And what's crazy is I always look at the live stream and how they build and the audience. And the real thing is, I always sign off when the audience gets to a good potential. I feel like I'm always ending this party early, but I also want to make the stream a valuable one start to finish. Some early thoughts, some Q&A, some lighthearted stuff. Hope that's understandable. If you're just tuning in right now, I always urge you to rewind it, and I have it set up that way. If you've only been here for like 2 minutes, go back to the beginning. Check out the beginning part of this live stream. We really dive deep into the game, some trends, some thoughts, some observations. But overall, big picture, got to be pretty excited about tonight. It's just one game. but can it lead to another win on Wednesday when the Sharks take on the old Desert Dogs? There you go. All right. Until then, I know we'll see you on the live stream somewhere sooner than later. Have a good rest of your Saturday night. Good night, everybody.